Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting. Envisioned Broadcasting, the station designed to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success. An affiliate of Direct Impact Broadcasting and Creative Broadcasting, presenting the EmPower Hour with Jaresha, a show that shares the stories behind the journeys of leaders, influencers, and motivators. The EmPower Hour with Jaresha begins now.
Welcome to EmPower Hour with Jaresha. I am your host, Jaresha Moore. I am a best-selling author with over 18 years of combined experience in education, finance, healthcare, business management, and development. Owner and founder of EmPower on Purpose, LLC, where we provide leadership training and personal and professional coaching and consulting services. Certified coach, speaker, and trainer with the John Maxwell team, and owner of Envisioned Broadcasting radio station. So there's an upcoming leadership event happening this Friday that I want to make sure you guys are aware of. So it's this Friday, October 11th, from 8 to 2:15 p.m. at Sinclair Community College here in Centerville, Ohio, at the Centerville campus. The actual event is called Live to Lead. It is a leadership simulcast event designed to offer individuals and teams who work and lead in corporations, businesses, industry, sports, technology, government, education, nonprofits, healthcare, ministry, and churches, fresh perspectives and practical tools for personal growth and professional success. Attendees will learn from world-class leadership experts, be prepared to implement a new action plan, and start leading when they get back to the office with renewed passion, commitment, and fresh perspectives. If you lead or work with people at any level in any capacity, don't miss this unique opportunity to have your life and organization impacted by the ideas and strategies of this year's amazing speakers and leaders, Dr. John C. Maxwell, Angela Ernst, Rachel Hollis, Marcus Buckingham, and Chris Hogan. Join over 50,000 people worldwide in over 30 countries. This year's simulcast event also includes lunch and the opportunity to unpack the content from the morning event with a panel of local Dayton area leaders. Visit the website for more information. The website is livetoleaddayton.com. We hope to see you there. So today's empowerment quote is life is not, what is the empowerment quote? There it is right there. Life is not, let me make sure I read this correctly. Life is not easy for any of us, but what of that? We must have perseverance and above all confidence in ourselves. We must believe that we are gifted for something and that this thing must be attained. By Maria Curry. I really like this quote because it tells us how important it is to believe in ourselves and have confidence. I think about how years and years before I started coaching and consulting, I would always encourage people and give advice on what others should do in their life. And I did all of this as a single mom with my own challenges and struggles, but I would look at situations and always see the light at the end of the tunnel. I would offer some great advice to people, and they would keep coming back for more. To me, this was definitely a gift. I would use my own experiences, the knowledge I had acquired over the years, lessons learned, and research to help motivate and empower people to overcome their challenges. So, of course, I discovered that this was my passion, my gift, and I got certified and turned it into a business. Then I was like, well, okay, wait, hold on just a moment, because then all of a sudden, then all of the what ifs, the self-doubt, and the fears came in. I didn't have the confidence I thought I would have. So I had all those struggles with believing in myself and feeling confident until I had one of those aha moments and truly realized if I didn't believe in me, no one else would. So I started believing in my gift, my passion, and my purpose. Here's what I will tell you. Our belief drives our behavior. If you don't believe in your gift and your greatness, you will always do nothing. If you believe in you and your gift, it will drive action. And remember, the world is waiting for you. The world is waiting to see your greatness. Yes, life is not easy, but have the confidence to be great and do great because someone is waiting for that gift that only you can show and bring, and someone is waiting for your greatness. So without further delay, I am so excited to welcome my guest, Cathy McKinnon. Cathy is the founder of Wellness Warrior Coaching. She works with ambitious women to create personalized success rituals to gain more energy, strength, beauty, and confidence along their journey to optimal living. Her signature program, The Warrior Way, is 90 days of one-on-one coaching to address health, wellness, and mindfulness habits to remove limiting beliefs, create habits that fit with your individual lifestyle and goals while reducing stress. She came to this career through her own transformation and battles with weight loss, cancer, divorce, and infertility. Now she shares her learnings to help other women not fall into the same pitfalls she did and start to show up as their authentic selves. Cathy has been featured on several podcasts, including Fearless Woman, episode 56, Success Through Failing, episode 152, and A Sacred Space with Katie. Cathy also has several co-author projects being published later this year on how to up-level your life and find your ultimate joy. Welcome, Cathy. I am absolutely loving your bio. You're absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to have you on the show today. How are you this evening?
I am excellent. Thank you so much for having me and allowing me to share to your audience. It's an honor, truly.
Absolutely. So I just shared some amazing things about, some of your journey. Could you please just share a little bit more about yourself and, your background and a little bit more about your journey?
Sure. So a little bit about me. First and foremost, I'm a mom. I have an 8-year-old son that is my world. I am a yogi. I fell in love with yoga almost 3 years ago now, and it's just become just a part of our lives. I'm a certified wellness and life coach, and I'm just an overall advocate for making shift happen towards a more joyous world.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That's amazing. So as I mentioned, you are a founder of the Wellness Warrior Coaching. Tell us a little bit more about the Wellness Warrior Coaching and what that truly is.
So this business is about empowering women to find their true calling and rise up to honor their authentic selves. It's about helping others raise their awareness of their true value. So many of us lose ourselves at different times in our journey, and this is really about working through all that is holding them back so they can find that true, authentic self again and really start to live joyously again.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I love the fact that, I'm all about empowerment, of others. And so I love the fact that you're truly out here empowering, others to, to be their best self. So what motivated you to start this business?
Yeah, to be honest, it was my own transformation. When I was faced with my infertility troubles, and in the midst of my infertility troubles, I was faced with my cancer diagnosis. It was really the universe telling me it was time to start taking health and my life seriously. Up until that point, I was just kind of, hey, not a care in the world, eat what I want, do what I want. And this was my time to kind of have this awakening that I have to start taking this seriously about what I'm putting in my body, what I'm putting in my mind. And I overhauled everything from, my habits, my mindset, my routine. And I've just embraced a new way to take on living and start living with intention as opposed to just going through the motions.
Absolutely. I think that as women, even as mothers, that I think we find ourselves in that moment where it's like, okay, we really need to take care of self. And because we get so busy with work and kids, we don't have that moment, or we don't take that time out to really have that self-care. And so, I definitely think that, as you mentioned, it's so important to take care of self. And, oftentimes a lot of us have to get pushed to that moment where it's like, okay, something happens in our life where we have no choice but to take care of self. It kind of puts us in, okay, you need to sit still mode. Like, okay, this has happened and I need to take a moment because I have to really, it's like those things that come up to make you really realize that you have to focus on you. You have to focus on, making sure you're well and just overall self-care so that we can continue, running the businesses and taking care of the kids and all of that. So you also have a program called The Warrior Way. Tell us a little bit more about what that truly entails.
Sure. So that is my signature one-on-one coaching program where I work one-on-one with a woman for 90 days, and I help them uncover who their authentic self is and identify where they're currently at and what their vision is for their future, what that optimal life looks like. And we put habits in place to get there, small goals. Each week we work through challenges or obstacles getting to those goals. We work on removing limiting beliefs that, maybe we have been hanging on to since childhood that we don't even realize are holding us back. And we have weekly calls to check in, what's going well, what's not going well, how can I help them get through anything they may have faced that week that maybe, they're not sure how to get through, and really be their accountability partner through those 90 days to get them to a point where they can kind of take off and fly on their own with this new routine and way of living.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. And I would absolutely, just encourage any of the listeners, if you're able to either join some kind of, coaching program that's similar to this, or even your coaching program, to where I just think that accountability program, the accountability piece is so important. Often, with just some of the goals that we have, we are trying to hold ourselves accountable, and we know how that works. It's like, okay, you may set a goal, for losing weight, and then, of course, you start that diet, and then it just goes downhill from there. And so it's just so important just to, like you said, to, jump in some kind of program that's going to help you with getting rid of those limiting beliefs, that's going to help you with that accountability piece. I think that's really, truly just, so important. So if you can share just a little bit more about what types of women you truly feel would benefit from your program.
These are women who are ready to start living the life they know they're worthy of, right? Strong, ambitious, go-getter women who are just ready to up-level their life with confidence. This program isn't for everyone because it will be hard work. I will, ask the pushing questions. I will challenge you to maybe notch up those goals 1 or 2 notches. It's not just to kind of coast through the 90 days. It's to really push and challenge you to get you to that next level. So, if you're ready to put in the work, you're ready to show up for yourself, then this is definitely something that, we would work together on.
Absolutely. So I love that you've, of course, learned from your struggles and pitfalls, and that you share with others how to avoid the same scenarios. What are some of the methods that you use to help others, avoid those, certain stumbling blocks in their life?
Yeah, I would say first and foremost is drop the comparisons and expectations, right? Let them go. And when you embrace who you authentically are and your true gifts that you have to give to the world, you begin to flow with ease through life as opposed to fighting this resistance. So, stop comparing to what everybody else is doing. Don't worry about what others expect of you, only what you expect of yourself and your own personal goals. That right away will take a huge weight off your shoulders.
Yes.
And
go ahead.
The second one I would say is definitely boundaries, establishing boundaries, honoring your boundaries, and honoring your vision to yourself. You cannot be true to yourself if you're constantly letting those boundaries fail and you're serving everybody else as opposed to serving your vision.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think those are both just great tips and, methods to really help listeners. I can, just to speak on the comparing ourselves, I know that, so often, and I hate to keep, pulling the women card, but I really feel like as women, we compare ourselves a little bit more than probably what men compare themselves. But yeah, I just think that, we always, and even in thinking as far as from a business side of things, when you start your business and you're looking at what other people are doing and saying, oh, they've gotten to, a certain level, or they're doing this. And so when you look at what you're doing, you're trying to compare, looking at, maybe they're a little bit more successful with some of the things that they're doing, but that doesn't take away from where you are. So, as you mentioned, I always try to share with those that, everyone has their own journey. Everyone has their own journey. Everyone, like you mentioned, everyone, has their own journey and brings their, their own thing to the table, their own greatness. And so oftentimes, we have to be willing to kind of stay in our own lanes when it comes down to, really looking at other people and saying, oh, look at how far, look at what they're doing, and comparing ourselves, because, we have our own greatness, and, you're on your own journey of being great. And so I definitely think that that's just amazing tips, and it truly excites me because I definitely can, identify with, some of the methods that you're sharing as well. So
yeah.
you have also shared that you've had your own life, struggles. Tell us some more about some of those and how you feel that those struggles has truly helped you, develop who you are and, with your business and your career.
Yeah, I think, during the most challenging years when I was battling my infertility struggles, I was having miscarriage after miscarriage, having surgery after surgery, and kind of when I was at my low point of, depression, taking it all on myself, blaming myself, feeling like I was inadequate as a woman. In the midst of all that was when I was diagnosed with cancer, and so it was just like a second kick to the gut. And while at the time, I couldn't see it because I was just living through it. Now I look back and it taught me so much about myself and so much about what I wanted out of life. I dove into so much personal and professional development after going through all of that I really peeled away at kind of the exterior that I was putting on and discovered that, that really wasn't living my true path. Yes, I had a career. Yes, I was doing things, but it really wasn't fulfilling to me in my soul. And so, while it's not glamorous to go through cancer or infertility or any of these things, it really kind of was a soul-searching mission.
Yes, my goodness, I couldn't imagine, my goodness. But, truly you are, an example of resilience and how, the struggles that you faced, you didn't allow that to, hold you back. You allowed it to keep you, moving forward. So what would you say has been the biggest challenge for you in your life to date?
Again, to be frank and honest, the biggest challenge for me was finding myself again. Because I honestly, as many women do, in the midst of being a mom and recovering from pregnancy and all this, I lost who Cathy was. And somebody had asked me, okay, Cathy, you talk about being a mom and you talk about your son, but who's Cathy? And at the time, I couldn't answer the question. So I don't know. I couldn't find that identity outside of that. And so doing that hard work and digging into all that emotional, limiting beliefs, all that tough stuff, was definitely the biggest challenge at the time. And now on the opposite side of it, it's laughter and joy. But it's definitely hard to examine your own mind, right? It's when you start digging through the emotions of all that you've been through, it's not easy work.
Absolutely. So what would you say has been the biggest accomplishment for you up to this point?
Oh, I would say having my son and just watching the amazing human being that he's becoming. As parents, I think sometimes we question, are we doing the right thing? Are we doing this right? Are we doing that right? And, our kids come with moments that you'd least expect it, that just kind of reassure you that you're doing the right thing. And my son just comes out with these moments sometimes where he just exudes such gratitude and compassion and individuality that I'm like, you know what? Even on the tough days, I must be doing something right, because he comes out with this stuff that just shows he has the biggest heart and that just fills me with so much joy.
Absolutely. I love that. I have kids, and I had shared with you that I have kids myself, and I have to agree. Having a child, of course, that is, I think, around the same age as your son, the 6-year-old. I definitely appreciate, even from the wide ages, the gaps, from 6 all the way up to 21. I definitely think they each have their own way of showing, even as they get teenagers, when we're ready to pull our hair out. But, even then, it's like, okay, you have those moments. They still have those moments where they definitely recognize, mom and how hard she's working, and, just definitely show that appreciation. So I think that's amazing, that's actually one of your biggest accomplishments. And so what would you say, what does a day in the life of Cathy truly look like?
Oh, my goodness, it's like the Wizard of Oz, like what's behind the curtain here? Oh, it is, I start my day, and I always start my day this way. Even before I get out of bed, I keep a notebook next to the bed, and every day I start the day with 3 things I'm grateful for. And I always like to start the day this way, just to get in that positive, grateful mindset before kind of whatever chaoticness the day could bring, right? If you start on a positive mindset, you're more likely to maintain that throughout the day. And so always start my day with my gratitude and positive moments. And then the next thing I do is, I get up. We have a puppy. And so next thing you do is slap on the shoes and get that puppy out for the first walk of the day before the little guy is up. And then I come back from the walk, and it's time to wake up my son, get him, breakfast. Let's get everybody ready. And then get him off to school. And then I head off to do my work and my to-do list, and then pick him up when school's done and get that homework done. And again, we take the puppy for a walk. My son walks with me at night with the puppy, and then before he gets ready for bed, we have this great big oversized beanbag chair, and we both sit in it kind of snuggled up, and we both read our individual books, but that's our quiet time. Mm-hmm. But we share it together, and we both like our downtime, our quiet time. And it's just so nice to have that moment with him still, that, he likes to just sit there all snuggled up to mom in this giant beanbag chair and share that reading time. And so I really treasure that quiet time with him.
Awesome. I love it. I really love the fact that you mentioned that, first thing in the morning, you're, looking for that notebook to write down those 3 things that you're grateful for. I think that is so important, and for those listeners, whether you're doing it in the morning, whether you're, reflecting on that in the evening, it's so important just to have, take that time out just to say, okay, this is what I am grateful for. I just think that it makes our day, go better. I think that's awesome. And I love the fact that you're able to spend, that quiet time in the oversized beanbag chair. I love beanbag chairs, by the way. But I love the fact that you're able to spend that quiet time. I love that. I definitely think that, when we have kids and, there's so much going on, that having that quiet time is really important, especially before bed, almost, whether you're reading or, reflecting, but it's so important. So we both know how important it is to mentor and coach others. Please share with the listeners how having your own mentor and coach has impacted you in your business.
Absolutely. So, you kind of touched on it a bit earlier. At the end of the day, we can all use accountability and support, right? Having that person to continuously push us and holding you to that highest level version of yourself, because sometimes it's very easy for us to make excuses, sit on the couch and watch some Netflix as opposed to going to the gym. It's easy, but if you have that person pushing you, you really can't let them down. And so I would not have gotten to this point in my life as quickly as I did if it was not for the mentors in my life pushing me to take the strides they knew I could. They believed in me even when I was doubting myself. When I was questioning whether or not I could do this or do that, they were 100% pushing me. And you know what? They were right. And it wasn't easy getting past my own personal doubt, but it was so worth it because it was so freeing and liberating on the other side of it. And so, yes, nobody needs coaching. It's not a necessity, but it is something that can help you take you from point A to point B so much faster than if you were doing it yourself, because as coaches, we're all here to hold our clients to their highest level. And so if you want to get from point A to point B faster to the best way that you can, that's the way to do it. And, you know, I cannot thank my mentors and coaches enough for pushing me at times when I wasn't sure I could personally do it.
Absolutely. Isn't that the truth? I definitely think that everyone, you know, needs a mentor and coach just for that piece, because oftentimes, as you shared, they're going to push us. They're going to push us to, you know, stretch and step out of that comfort zone. I love the fact that, you know, you mentioned, you know, even as far as pushing us and having that coach, because a lot of us do spend a lot of time in front of Netflix or TV. It's so funny because I just had talked to one of my mentors, and he actually mentioned how, you know, we are spending so much time not just in front of the TV, but on, you know, Facebook and, you know, searching social media and all of that. And he called the actually TV, it was so funny because he called it electronic income reducers. And I was like, oh, wow, I've never heard of it that way. But, you know, but I loved it. I was like, okay, I think I need to use that, because I've never heard of, you know, watching TV as electronic income reducers, because of all the time. He actually went on to say that most people spend more time on other people's lives than their own goals. And I was like, wow, that's good, you know, because we do. Yes. And so, you know, going back to just having that mentor and coach, it's so important, even just for that accountability piece. And so I encourage everyone to, you know, get a mentor, coach in all the different areas of your life, not just business, but, you know, there's relationship coaches, there's financial coaches, there's all kinds of different coaches, you know, that can help us with support and accountability. So today's empowerment quote was, "Life is not easy for any of us, but what of that? We must have perseverance and, above all, confidence in ourselves. We must believe that we are gifted for something and that this thing must be attained," by Marie Curie. Please share with the listeners on what this quote means to you.
You know, when you first read this at the beginning of the show, the first thing that went through my head was, when you know deep down you're made for something greater, and you confidently believe this, you'll understand that the challenges that are coming at you, they're actually stepping stones. They're lessons learned. They're teaching you a skill or a lesson you need to take you to that next level. And when you embrace challenges with the "what is this trying to teach me or show me" attitude versus the "why me," it will allow you to up-level so much faster. Like, really, truly embracing the lessons learned and building on them is what will allow you to go to that next level.
Absolutely. I love that. Absolutely love that. And speaking of, you know, stepping stones, that is, and, you know, trying to teach, and, you know, what is it that is trying to teach us? If you could actually share one resource, tool, or some kind of app that maybe you use that you feel is an absolute must-have for entrepreneurs and business owners, what would that be?
My number one thing, and everybody's is a little bit different, is you must have a good calendar or scheduling tool, whether it's your phone, whether it's a paper planner, whether it's electronic, whatever it might be, to honor your time wisely, to make sure that you are scheduling yourself correctly, not to overload yourself, to ensure that you're getting in, you know, your self-care time, your family time. You have to lay it out on a calendar, whether it's paper, electronic, whatever it might be, to properly live with intention and make sure you're getting in those things you need to get in.
Absolutely. I love that. I agree with you 150%. That is so important. And as you mentioned, not just for those business owners or entrepreneurs, but it's so important just for day-to-day. It's so interesting, you know, because I had a conversation with a lady who has, she has a daughter, and she mentioned that, you know, she just, you know, really wanting to focus on how to manage her time better and all of that. And so we had a conversation about, scheduling and blocking out that time, as you mentioned, blocking out that time and really sticking to that calendar and even putting everything on that calendar. I know, within my home, we use the calendar for everything. When I say everything from the kids' sports to, if we're going to take a trip to the library, everything goes on the calendar, and we share calendars, and it just works. So as you mentioned, the scheduling tool is awesome for, those business owners and entrepreneurs and all of that, but also some kind of scheduling tool, whether it's electronic or some kind of paper calendar, it just helps you with that time management piece. So what is one piece of advice you would give our listeners on how they can empower their own growth and success journey?
I think wherever you're at in your journey, really taking time to step out of the day-to-day activities and gain clarity around your vision, what it is you want for your life. Whether you're there now currently or not, or whether, you're not sure of how to get to that vision, what is that vision? Like, if your ideal life, what would it look like if you could paint it out in a picture, describe it with words? What would that be? You don't have to know how to get there yet. You don't have to know, all of the pieces to the puzzle. But what would that vision look like? Because once you know what that ultimate vision looks like, then you can truly understand the routines, the surroundings, and what you need to do to get there. And it'll be easier for you to articulate to those around you in your close circle, family, friends, neighbors, coworkers, why, you're taking the actions that you're taking, because you're trying to get to this vision. And once you can start articulating that, those around you can better support you.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I love that. Absolutely. I love that. So please share with the listeners what is actually coming up on the horizon for you.
Oh, so I am beyond excited, so excited. I was doing a little dance the other day when I saw a copy of it. So one of my co-author projects that I'm just truly, truly amazed to be a part of, it's my most vulnerable story. It is the book Silent Grief, Healing, and Hope, where 15 women have come together to share our infertility journeys and how we healed through, hope and our different ways of grieving through that whole process that, we put together this book to really give other women hope that, you're not alone in this journey. There is ways to heal. There is ways to cope. Everybody's story is different, but, if by sharing my story in this book, it gives one woman hope, it brings one woman to the other side of what can be a very dark depression, to me, that's all worth it then. And so it's actually on its way to Amazon and should be available on Amazon at the end of the month. So
awesome.
It's crazy exciting, yes.
Yes, that is exciting. Awesome. No wonder why you're, doing a dance. You should be. That's amazing.
It's like it's real. It's real.
Yes. Absolutely. I love it. So, Cathy, I just want to take the time to say thank you so much for sharing your amazing story and journey. Please share with the listeners on how they can stay connected with you and support your efforts.
So I'm available on Facebook and Instagram, both under Wellness Warrior Coaching. Facebook and Instagram, I've got daily inspiration, tips, and advice going out there every day. I'm very active on Instagram, so if you want to interact, ask questions, feel free to DM me, ask questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's truly been an honor and a pleasure to have you as a guest on the show. Again, I just thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to allow me to interview you, and I wish you much success and blessings as you continue on your journey.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been such a fun conversation.
Absolutely. So, listeners, thank you for tuning in to tonight's show with our special guest, Cathy McKinnon. Cathy shared her amazing story and journey to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success. And she also shared that wherever you are at in your journey, take time to step outside of your day-to-day activity and gain clarity. Ask yourself, what would you what would you say, or what would you like your ideal life to look like, envision for your life? And then once you know what that looks like, you know what you want to do, you need to do it. You need to figure out what you need to do to actually get there. If you are interested in being a guest on the show, starting your own radio show or low-cost advertising highlighting your book, business, or events, please email envisionb@empoweronpurpose.com. Please tune in next time where you will hear an amazing story and journey from another leader, influencer, and motivator. Until next time, be blessed.
Thank you for listening to the EmPower Hour with Jaresha, where Jaresha speaks with leaders, influencers, and motivators who share their journeys in personal and professional growth, empowerment tips, lessons learned, and keys of success that will empower you to be your best self. Follow Jaresha on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jaresha Moore, and visit EmPowerOnPurpose.com. And remember to be intentional and be empowered, and have a great day on purpose.